office of the governor of Edo State under the platform of the People's Democratic Party in the upcoming 2024 election.
Labour Party governorship aspirant Comrade Osa Ugbo has called the Governor Godwin Obaseki-led government 25% of total performance in the past 7 years in office. Now, he also made these statements in an interview with our Asaba correspondent on Friday in Benin City, the state capital. Now, Ugbo said that Edo people are not enjoying the present leadership of Governor Godwin Obaseki, as his leadership system is neither transparent nor favorable to the people, who are being overtaxed by government agencies across 18 local government area councils of the state. Now, he promised to deliver good governance to the people of the state and paying bursary to students of secondary and higher institutions across the state.
How well have this governor done? For me, if I want to score him, I will score him 25%, which is not a pass mark. You have not been able to affect the masses of the people. Our people are not enjoying governance in the state. They are overtaxed. You go to our market, you see the way they are suffering. Our agenda is simple: education. We are going to make sure our Edo children get good education. Those in the higher institutions are going to enjoy bursary and scholarship, secondary and university from secondary to university level, scholarship for them.
However, noted that he understands the needs of the people and the pain, and is also prepared to set them free.
I understand what my people needs. I understand the plight and the cry of my people. We are going to develop agriculture, modern agriculture, transportation for our people. We are not going to import vehicles from Japan, Japanese-made vehicle or Chinese-made vehicle. We are going to our source here. Our market women, you see today, our market is an eyesore. Go to any market in Edo State, you will laugh. You see that our people are really suffering. There is no human being, man or woman, that will come to a market and see the environment is clean, that will not be happy to pay a stipend for what they are saying. You go to the market, it's smelling. My government, by the grace of God and our ancestors, is going to turn all those things around.
Our senior advocate of Nigeria, Obafemi Adewale, has appealed to all feuding parties in the current electoral conflict to remain calm, avoid eating up the polity, and wait for the Supreme Court's decision on the current governorship election. Obafemi Adewale said this in Ado-Ekiti shortly after attending a colloquium organized in his honor by the Young Lawyers Forum of the NBA. It was reacting to the controversy generated by the certified copies of the Court of Appeal judgment. Adewale said the Nigeria's electoral system is not about laws, but about people who interpret the laws and decide the political atmosphere by the action. He said the 1999 Constitution has provisions for every situation.
Like a topography arrow too. But the most important thing about our electoral system is that we must learn to put service over and above any other consideration. It's not about laws. The laws are there. It is the people who operate the laws that decide whether the people of the country will benefit from the provisions of those laws or not. It is not the law simplicity. People complain about our constitution, for instance. But we have been running this constitution since 1999. We've been having national assemblies since 1999. And people will still be telling us that this was put in place by a military. Well, how come since then they've not been able to change it? The truth of the matter is that it is not the constitution that is wrong. It is the people that are running it. And we need to learn that service with dignity, with integrity, pays more than going into public office to acquire money and not making any impact on the people.
The Oba of Benin has called on all Nigerians to support the administration of President Bola Tinubu, as well as live in peace with one another. The Oba spoke during a courtesy visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at Lagos House Marina. He noted that the victory of Tinubu at the 2023 presidential polls showed that God ordained him to rule the country and the state. Now, Oba himself worked on the need for peaceful coexistence in order to achieve sustainable development in all areas of the nation's economy.
If Nigeria were to break up today, it would be like Banana Republic. Nigeria is big because we are together. When they say the biggest country in Africa, because it's Nigeria, it's because the way we are. So it's good to remain like this, but iron out differences that we have. Everywhere they have differences. Just iron out our own and remain the same, learn to live together. Learn to live together like one big family.
He also congratulated the governor on his re-election and commended the giant strides of the governor in Lagos and also charged him not to rest on his horse to achieve greater heights in his second term in office. Sanwo-Olu, who also eulogized with the Oba of Benin for distinguishing himself among the traditional rulers, said his protection of culture and promotion of traditional values have earned a maximum respect across the country.
There was no need for always running to court and everything. I hope Nigeria will be able to come up with a system whereby issues will be resolved than dragging whenever general elections and presidential elections, carried out, so it's dragging and things we were hearing, we were not happy about, whether it's true, whether not true, but president, is my in-law. So thank you very much, and we thank God for your also successful election. We pray for you. We pray you be successful in tenure, your cabinet will do well for us.
I want to say to you, sir, that we are beginning to see some of his interventions. Just last week, we saw another quarter of GDP growth in the country, right? Where the GDP growth has improved from what it was the last 1 and 2 quarters. The third quarter looks very, very well, but we said to him that he still has to do a lot more. So we're believing that with him at the helm of affairs, and like you said, sir, he has clear sight to govern well, and I will believe that he will do a good job. For us here in Lagos, we're the shoulder and the neck of the country, and we'll continue to ensure that Lagos remain home to a lot of people.
Now straight to other parts of Africa. Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio has announced on Sunday evening that calm has been restored after a day of armed clashes in Freetown, which he portrayed as an attempt to destabilize the state. Most of the perpetrators, according to him, have been arrested. The day saw unknown assailants attempting to force their way into a military arsenal in Freetown, confronting security forces in various parts of the capital and freeing numerous prisoners from jail. Authorities have imposed a nationwide curfew until further notice. Most of the leaders are said to have been arrested and will be held accountable, according to Mr. Bao in a brief statement without providing further details. And now, outside Africa, Israel and Hamas have entered the planned final day of a 4-day ceasefire Monday, with expectations for Israel to release more Palestinian prisoners and Hamas to set free more hostages amid a push to extend the truce. Hamas has indicated that it would extend the deal, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated Sunday that Israel would welcome an extension that included Hamas releasing 10 more hostages per day. The initial agreement, which went into effect after 6 weeks of war, included Hamas releasing 50 hostages, Israel freeing 150 Palestinian prisoners, and a pause in fighting. The United Nations said late Sunday a total of 39 Israelis, 117 Palestinians, and 19 foreign nationals had been released. United States, Egypt, and Qatar are among those advocating for an extension after working to secure the 4-day ceasefire. And straight to business, pension fund administrators invested a sum of 130.18 billion naira funds under the contributory pension scheme in infrastructure as of the end of September 2023. Figures obtained from the National Pension Commission on unaudited report on pension funds industry portfolio for the period ended 30th September 2023 approved existing schemes, closed pension fund administrators, and the RSA funds, which is also reviewed by the unremitted contributions by the Central Bank of Nigeria and legacy funds. Now, according to the figures, total assets under the CPS stood at 17.35 trillion naira as of the period under review. Part of the funds was also invested in domestic and foreign ordinary shares, federal and state government securities, and money market instruments, among others. The Commission had in its amended investment regulation highlighted the requirements for investing the funds in line with the provisions of the Pension Reform Act 2014. It said the purpose of the regulation was to provide uniform rules and standards for the investment of pension fund assets. Straightway into entertainment, popular comedian Bright Okpocha, better known as Basketmouth, has lamented that stand-up in Nigeria is dying. Now, Basketmouth noted that unlike the music and movie industries, the Nigerian comedy sector lacks structure and platform. He added that while music and movies have global streaming platforms, comedy in Nigeria lacks such platforms. The comedian mentioned that in the United States, comedians can practice their material in comedy clubs before touring, but in Nigeria, the lack of comedy clubs makes it challenging for comedians to refine their craft. And diving straight to sport, struggling Grenada parted ways with the manager Paco Lopez on Sunday, months after he earned their promotion to La Liga. Now, Granada 19th in the table after losing 3-1 at Alves on Saturday are winless in the last 11 league games and have only 7 points from 14 matches. Now, they were also disqualified from the Copa del Rey earlier this month after fielding an ineligible player. Now, Lopez took over last November and led Granada to a Spanish second-tier title, and they also returned to the top tier a year after being relegated. And that's the news update. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You can also view us from LimeX on LimeX.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Emmanuel Olububokun. Many thanks for watching.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
That fashion and style is just inspired by what you see in the world via Instagram, via Snapchat, and also through fashion magazines and websites. Yeah. Okay. Come on up, just turn up. No, walk it. You have to model for us. Okay, she's modeling for us, and so I guess I'm gonna weigh in on my sister's outfit, which I love. Doesn't she look good? Can we get a round of applause for Lola? Oh, come on, come on. Thank you, thank you. So as a fashion expert, this is what I'm weighing in on. I think Lola looks amazing. She's figured out a way to use a traditional sort of silhouette, wear white, which is nice and airy, but she added her own sort of sense of style with this belt. And I love it. And I think she got these shoes in Nigeria when we were just here. So she's mixing, American fashion with Nigerian fashion. Okay, everyone give them a round of applause. Okay, work it, so work it. Hey. There you go.
Cars have become a very important part of our everyday modern lives, mainly for transportation and for a few, a display of wealth, a show of luxury. Cars are a way to keep history, a nostalgic reminder of our past lives, and this is what this classic car show, which recently held in Lagos, achieved. Car lovers from different parts of the country attended, and owners showed off their vintage cars. Some of the car owners tell us of how their love for vintage cars began.
This is a 1966 Mustang Shelby Cobra, and I've had it for about 7 years now. So it was handed over. So I had a family who had it for 50 plus years. So they wanted to sell it, and I got it from them. When you drive these cars, you have to be attentive to what you're doing. When you drive a car that you can put a cruise control, you tend to get reckless. Now you have to be very attentive because you have to be sure what you're doing. You have to be in control to drive the car versus I can push a button and the car drives by itself. So, but I've always been into them. I mean, I drive the newer ones, but I've always wanted something like this. I've always had them. I can work on them myself if I wanted to. Like change the oils, change the oil, change the plugs. I can do that because they're relatively easy to do.
That's cars from the day my father taught me how to drive. And in fact, that's one of the inspirations for my own car, which is a classic Mercedes 2.6 liter 190E. So, yeah. So that's really from driving, learning how to drive and spending time with my father on Father's Day. I think it's important as any woman, if a car breaks down, you must know your water levels, you must know the engine is overheating, you must know your tire pressures, you must know what kind of fuel you are having, the type of oil as well. So those things are quite important. I was able to listen to the engine, car, things like that.
Generally liked cars as a whole from when I was young, and I think there's something about classic cars that's just of a particular look, of a particular date, for me in particular, that is so attractive. Well, you know that we have a lot of people who have an interest in vintage cars, and this is why we have the club. So essentially, it is Nigeria, but look at the turnout today. And we have members that didn't come today with their cars. So there's quite a following. There are quite people passionate about classic cars.
The first car I ever drove was my dad's Volvo from the 70s, a P1800 Volvo, and I'm still hoping I can buy one day, but that's the first car I ever drove. And when I say drove, the car wouldn't start one morning. We're living in Europe. The car wouldn't start. So he had me sit in it. So he and my elder brother, who had more muscles, could push. And he just showed me how to work the legs to jump start it once we had some momentum. So I always tell people that's the first car I ever drove.
Apart from the classic car owners, we met a Nigerian car designer who built his own Nigerian brand car called Twim Custom Cars Nigeria.
We started pimping cars since 1984. We were concentrating on the Santanas, the VW Santana cars. And we did a lot of those until they took the factory to China, then we had to stop. That was the last car we customized or we launched was 30 years ago, the Twintana Z1. Well, it's not easy to own your own car brand. Our cars are based on the Volvo XC90.
The organizers emphasized the importance of the event.
We'll be seeing people coming all day. It's a family event. Kids have brought their fathers out to celebrate Father's Day with them. I have a friend who brought her dad. He's an elderly statesman at this point. She brought him out to come and enjoy this event with us.
If you look at it, classic cars are a way to keep history, especially as every car has a story.
I think you're spot on. Otherwise, none of these cars. You have people still chopping cars up and shipping them out as scrap metal, you know. But if you preserve them, you have cars from this is a 1953 Buick here. There's a Chevy from 1955, a Morris from 1964, my MG's from 1977. It's 46 years old now. So we are preserving history.
We hope classic car shows like this evolve to educational forums for families and schools. And who knows, it might just lead eventually to Nigeria's first car museum. Fumi Unajefe, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
I left Nigeria back as far as 2012, and it was a very funny story. As you can see from my social media pages, my best food is amala. So I worked after work. I'm a medical doctor, full-time doctor. After work, I went to this famous place in Oshogbo where they have amala, just next to my hospital. So while I was there, I sat down with the food, and then I saw this newspaper advert saying doctors needed urgently in Saudi Arabia. So I abandoned my plate of amala. The rewards were just amazing, and I couldn't believe my eyes. You know, free accommodation, free flights. I was earning, you know, I was going to earn like times 20, you know, of what I earned at the time, in dollars as well. So I packed my bags, went home, packed my bags off to Lagos. I was at Ikeja for the interview. Like immediately? Immediately, I left the amala, went home, packed my bags, and off I went to Lagos. The next day I went for the interview, did the interview. There were loads and loads of people there. Did the interview and got picked, and I was on my way to Saudi Arabia. So from Nigeria, I worked in Saudi Arabia for 2 years, and then I walked around the Middle East, Dubai, Oman, Bahrain, and from there, while I was working, I was writing my exams to work in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. So from there, I got a lecturing position in the UK, and then I was able to pass my exams within that time. So I got my licenses to be able to practice in Europe. So at the moment, I can practice in Europe, I can practice in New Zealand, I can practice in the Middle East, and of course in Nigeria as well. So my journey hasn't been straightforward. My journey has been from Nigeria, scattered around the Middle East, and then Europe. The first culture shock I faced was I landed on a Thursday, and obviously Friday, but it didn't click that Friday was a day to be respected in the Middle East, in the Muslim society. So I got up, was looking for food. I got out of my house, and after walking for like 5 minutes, it still didn't click that I was the only one in the environment, okay? So after walking about, say, 500 meters, I suddenly saw a car just drove in front of me and blocked me, and then I saw all these guys in beards just came, and of course I didn't. So the guy just came and said, "What are you doing out here? It's Friday. You're supposed to be praying." I'm like, I paused, and then he says, "Okay, are you a Muslim or a Christian?" "Yeah, are you a Muslim or a Christian?" I swear I didn't know whether to say Muslim or Christian because I didn't know what was going to happen. If you say Christian and they start flogging you, if you say Muslim, why are you not in the mosque? So I paused, and the guy said, "Bring out your Ikama." I showed him my Ikama, which is like a resident permit. That shows your religion, so it shows it shows I'm a Christian. And then he said, "Where are you coming from?" I said, "I just got into Saudi yesterday. I don't know what's going on." Then he said, "Well, today's Friday, Jumat. You have to be praying. If you're not praying, you respect it. Stay in your house between this period." So I said, "Okay." He said, "Everywhere is closed. You can't even get food." So I said, "I'm sorry. I will walk back right now." And then another one that was amazing, even though I was a doctor, I couldn't speak to female patients. So if a man comes in with a woman and the woman is the one with the problem, you cannot talk face to face to her. You cannot ask her. You have to ask the husband, say, okay, why have you brought this woman here? And then the husband would. So my first experience, I spoke to this woman who had a breast lump, and I was talking. The husband was just looking at me. So when I finished, he was answering me. And when I finished, the guy just lost it. How can you be talking to my wife? I was like, I'm not toasting your wife, guy. You know, calm down. So the medical director had to give me an education, you know, yeah. So we were able to just placate the guy at that time. So that was one culture shock for me as well. I've traveled a lot of countries. I've seen 50 different countries now. I would say that in Europe, okay, so some very interesting ones. When I got to Europe, I was in my house, just sitting on my own, and friends said, come on, there's this birthday party happening, let's go and eat. Birthday party? Oh yeah, let's go now, where's the venue? So I went to the venue, we ate, we ordered, ate everything, finished. Birthday party. At the end of the day, the celebrant came and said, this is the bill. And in my head, I'm thinking, bill for what? I should pay that you invite. I was in my house. I was in my house, you invited me. I came to eat, now I have to pay the bill. So that was one. The second one was, of course, driving. In Nigeria, you're on the left side, but in the UK, you're on the right side. So that was another culture shock for me in Europe. Okay. It's important to state that I always talk about the way to live legally, within the legal bounds, without violating any international laws, which is opposed to what people do, most people do. And if you notice very well, people live, you know, it's upward movement. You're living from poorer countries to rich countries. And interestingly, it's not as if the people who leave their countries illegally, generally speaking now, are not the poorest of the poorest when you put the standard of their country into context. They're not the poorest of the poorest. But because they're looking for better opportunities, they're looking for a place where they will get, you know, larger finances, a better standard of living, education, good access to health. That's why they're leaving. So they don't care how they do it. So long as the promises, you know, they've been given good promises, then they just take that pathway. I always use my social media handles on Instagram, on YouTube, Waka Waka Doctor, to tell people of the legal ways. And the reason why people most times don't want to follow this pathway is because I would say it's inherent laziness, because you have to do the work. You know, this illegal pathway, they're possibly going to say, pay this amount of money, we will just move you across the border. But they don't consider the consequences that come with it. This way that I preach involves a lot of, you know, work. You have to do a lot of work. So it means that you have to do research, you have to make applications, you have to pay little amount of fees, and then get the end result. So if you're not open to working, I give tips, I point you towards the right direction, but if you're not open to working, then it becomes a difficult task for you. So the easiest way is to keep educating ourselves. We keep educating these people and passing the information across. And I mean, this is one thing I'm doing now, and it's one thing I've been doing for the last 18 months, using Instagram, Twitter, YouTube to pass the information across. If someone comes to you to say, okay, I'm going to take you to Europe, you're a cake baker, I'm going to get you scholarship, there are documents you want to see. There are documents you want to see. You have your original passport. Have you submitted a statement of motivation or a letter of intent? Do you have a visa? Have you submitted documents to help you get an original visa? Do you have a work permit? Have you seen an original work permit? Have you called your employers over there to confirm that I have a real job and I'm coming to resume? So that again brings me to my first point, that people are mentally lazy. They don't want to do the work. Because when someone gives you documents and say, oh, this is your document, we're going abroad, you should say, give it to me. Let me confirm if it's real. Let me confirm if it's original. If it's a work permit, I'm going to call my employers to see if this job is real. If it's a school admission, I'm going to ring up the school to find out if it's real. I told you behind the cameras, I said, people have this mentality that, you know, things work outside just the way it works in this country. It's wrong. If you pick up the phone and call an admissions office, they will talk to you. If you pick up the phone and call an employer, they will talk to you, just looking for information. And if the information is real, they definitely get it. So, like I said, the first way to help with spread of information, help curb this is spread of information, educating people, and that's what I've been doing for the last 18 months using my social media platforms. Nothing good comes extremely easy, okay? You have to be patient. I tweet sometimes, I say that, I say, when you travel abroad, your life changes, you know, your skin becomes fresh, your smile is different, okay? There's peace of mind, you know, things come to you easily. You can actually actualize your dreams. You can live out your dreams right in front of you because there's a system that supports that. So my advice is, when you go abroad, be patient, keep working hard, don't stop, don't relax, you know, have a vision, write it down, allow your eyes see that vision, you know, consume it, and continue to work towards it. It's simply as basic as that. That would be my advice. Save, and always call home, because one of the downsides to going abroad is that it can be boring sometimes. And that's why you should call friends. Don't cut people off. Call friends. You know, always call home if you miss home. Like, I'm home now because I missed Amala. I missed all those things, so I came home. So yeah, that's my advice. Keep working. Keep your head down. Of course, keep your connections back home so that you can always come back to them. This is a huge subject. It's a huge subject, and it's not something I can share in 1-2 minutes. So I'm going to say that the first thing you want to do is open an Instagram account if you don't have an Instagram account, and look for me, Waka Waka Doctor, because I give tips. Now, there are job boards across Europe, across Asia. You cannot streamline your choices and say that, oh, I just want to be in Canada. I just want to go to the US. I just want to go to the UK. There are 195 different countries in the world. So you have to say that I'm open to any one of them. And most of these countries have job boards, okay? Websites, different websites where you can submit your applications. You go through rigorous interviews. You submit documents. If you then succeed, they are able to process your work permits and employ you. Now, some people will say, oh, I've tried the UK, it didn't work out, so they give up. But there are different countries in the world. There's Turkey, there's Lithuania, there's Kazakhstan. I know teachers that I've spoken to, in fact, 6-7 of them in the last 4-5 months who have left Nigeria to Kazakhstan, right? They teach English. They earn at least $1,800 in Kazakhstan, which is much more than what they will earn in Nigeria. So there are 195 countries. I post them, I mean, almost every day on my Instagram channel. So you can watch and see some of these job boards and apply for jobs. Some basic truths and facts is, not every doctor can leave the country. So even if doctors are leaving, more doctors would graduate and you still have doctors around. But doctors are leaving in their large numbers every day. So the future of medicine in Nigeria is very bleak, because you have the extremely intelligent doctors leaving, going abroad, because the system abroad is extremely encouraging. The system abroad gives you opportunities to become greater than what you can ever think or imagine. People keep writing their exams, people keep going for interviews because the system allows it. So the advice straight up I'll give to the Nigerian government is, first and foremost, create a platform that encourages us as doctors. Facilities, give us things we can, it's not as if, you know, things we only see in the books, things we can see and work with. Pay us. Pay us money. I worked in Osun State. My salary in 2011 was 90,000 naira. I was doing 2 jobs and I couldn't earn 120,000 naira, 2 jobs. When I went to Saudi Arabia, salary was $5,000. Look at the discrepancy, it's too huge. And they were owing us 6 months. You owe someone 6 months. How can, I was seeing 200 patients in a day. 200 patients. How, I mean, the first 10 patients I see would get the best out of me. The other ones, the truth, it's just the truth. The other ones would be people, that's it. It doesn't work that way. Create a good culture, a good environment for doctors to work. Pay them properly. You know, give them, you know, standard remuneration that they can compare with their friends and colleagues abroad and say, okay, yes, we you know, it's commensurate to the work we do. Nigerian government really has to improve. The future of Nigerian doctors, sadly enough, is abroad, and countries are asking for them. Like the PLAB exam is an incredibly easy exam to just write and pass. So people are writing it and moving. You know, so if Nigeria cannot improve these parts, payments, facilities, you know, then it's a poor tale. I would end on this note to say that this is a popular theme that I've always passed across, to say that travel is not necessary of money, but of courage. And the reason is because it takes courage to decide to leave a place you've been for many years and go to a place that's brand new. You're going to be leaving your friends, you're going to be leaving your family, you're going to be leaving your job, you're going to be in search of ways to make money, search of better career. So it's often very difficult. The first step is the most difficult one, the most daunting one, saying, I want to move. It's very difficult. But I would always encourage you to take that step. When you start, you will get to the end. Don't wait, start now. It's another year, it's 2022. My aim is to get at least 2,000 people abroad. So if we can do that, we've succeeded. Okay? There are better opportunities out there. If you're attaining this level right now in Nigeria, if you go abroad, you'll be times 20. That's it. So start now, make the move. If you're in town, if you catch me in any of the cities abroad, you can holler at me and I'll be there. Traveling abroad, migrating abroad is not age specific. You know, age is not a limitation. Even if you're in your 50s, you're in late 50s, you can still go abroad. I always talk about academics because academics seems to be the easiest path. But even if it's true career, like I've said earlier, you can go search for these job boards that will give you employment. Again, experience counts. I'll give you an example. Places like Australia are in need of people with huge experiences in different fields. Whether you're a cameraman, you're a technician, you're a chef, if you have 5-10 years, electrician, 5-10 years of experience, and you apply for jobs in Australia, they'll take you. Estonia, Lithuania, these are places that are in need of vocational, you know, you can do vocational studies. If you're not a skilled worker, so to say, these are places that are in need of you. So age is not a factor. So even if you're 50 and you have 15 years of experience to back this, they're looking for you.
like rolling my strong this way. I call it strong. I call SK Popo. I call them strong because, as I said, it motivates me, it gives me energy, it makes me move. I'm addicted to tramadol, Baba Blue. Everyone knows it as well. No, codeine, Benelin with codeine. Tramadol was given to me by my father. Him too, he didn't even know what it was. My name is Tunde Smith. I'm a drug addict, and well, I'm here to tell you my story about drugs. I started taking drugs when I was 20. I was this kind of child then that I was always trapped in my house. My dad didn't always allow me to go out, and my mom didn't always allow me to go out. So when I got out to the world after I finished secondary school, and I spent 1-2 years at home out of frustration, then I started going out, meeting people, and that was when I now found out about SK. That's the street name outside. It got to a time that without it, I couldn't eat anymore. I was very, very much fatter than this, but I guess it's drugs that did this to me because I lost my appetite. I didn't know how to get it first of all. It was always a friend that always bought it for me. So when he was not around, when he had to go to school, leaving only me around, I had to wait for a while before I could find my way to get into the Zanga zone and get the drug, you understand? So it was very, very hard for me to hold on to it, saying, okay, fine, I won't take this thing for a long period of time. But when I had the chance to take it, I took it excessively. I took it like there was no tomorrow. I took it like that was the last one that was on earth, just to make me feel good. I won't say I'm proud to say I'm a drug addict, but well, I guess I found myself here and I have to actually tell myself the truth. So yes, I am a drug addict. I steal money from my mom, I steal money from my dad. I just try my best to get a shot of it a day at least. My curiosity always got the best of me when it came to drugs. So I moved on from just taking SK to taking other ones. And it got to a point in time I tuned into hard drugs. So I was taking all of them together. I would take tramadol, I would take Ruchi, I would take all those kind of stuff. I would take them, just know what this does and what this does. All those kind of drugs. They're very, very easy to get. All you can do is just go down to the pharmacy and just ask for it. You don't need prescriptions, you don't need anything. You just go there, you get it. Hard drugs like that, I call it hard because of what it does when you take a large amount of it, because the feeling it gives and everything like that. And it's so easy to get. It's like just to walk down the park and you get it so easy.
Psychologists receive phone calls day and night from addicts who want to give up drugs. Every 2 calls is about one particular medicine, tramadol.
Parents shouldn't give their children medications containing the narcotics codeine or tramadol.
Tramadol was given to me by my father. Him too, he didn't even know what it was. When I don't take it, it makes me feel like the whole world is on top of me. It makes me feel like I am nothing. I'm about to go get some supplies, talking about the usual stuff, SK, tramadol, popcorn and stuff like that, It's not an easy task getting these things and actually trying to get a video of it as well, but let's just pray that I don't get caught. But I just want to show how easy it is to get these things at no extra cost. Yes, quite easy. Okay, this is where I have to pass if I want to go get, if I have to go get the stuff, It's a very, very long way. It's a way and it's known to everyone. Everyone knows that if you want to get drugs, this is the place to be if you're in Lagos, especially this Yaba side. You can see the environment is a place whereby it's not conducive, You can see everyone. No one knows I'm doing this, so
if I'm being caught over here, if anyone should just suspect that I'm doing something like this, I'm screwed already. Like, I'm literally screwed, because no, the police is not going to come here on time. This place is so deep inside the location that I'm going to this stuff. Before the police gets here, I would have been dead. It's so sure about it. This place that I'm about to enter now, I want to go get tramadol. It's, as I said, it's just another shop, another pharmacy that you can just walk into and just get anything you want.
Hello. Good afternoon. Do you have tramadol? Yeah? 100 milligram. Okay, let me have one then.
I'm asking for her now if I could get tramadol, and she says yes, she has it. I'm gonna take 100 milligrams. That is about 5 pills. So I'm just going to wait for her and let her, sell it to me. In the meantime, I'm showing you guys around the pharmacy. As I said, it's all being done secretly, so no one knows I'm actually doing this. As you're seeing right here, this view that you're looking at is what we call Zanga. This, as you can see right there at the far right corner, you can see some guys sitting right there. I can't go down there because I'm not meant to do this kind of thing at all. If I'm caught doing this, that's it for me right there. But as you can see over there now, you can see those guys seated right there. Those are those people that take drugs. They're always there. This is where you can do anything you want. In fact, this place that you're looking at right here, it's not even on the Lagos State map. This place doesn't exist at all. This place is it's meant to be a canal. There's a canal over there. That's where you see the bushes, right at this corner, after this house. There's a canal that passes through that side. So all this place is meant to be like a gutter, but you can see houses everywhere. Everyone just trying to survive. Over this place that you're looking at, the guy that you're seeing over there, that's actually the dealer. Because he sees me standing here for so long, he's wondering what's up. He wants to come and meet me, but I'm just giving him the signals not to come yet, because I don't really want anybody to see me doing this. That's it for me. Tramadol, this is 250 milligrams of tramadol, just one pill. You have some people that take 2 sometimes when you really want to get high. Then this one is the normal one, the ones that you get anywhere on the streets. Anywhere you go, you can just ask anyone and you get it. This is 100 milligrams. The normal dosage, any normal guy that takes trams, when they start, this is what they start with, because before you get to 250, you have to start with 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams. You can't just get up to here, you just get messed up. Rochi. This is Rochi. This one you take, this is 100 milligrams. Yeah, this 100 milligrams, just one pill. Just one pill of this, and you're good to go. Having the motivation to come out and speak about this is because it wasn't easy for me as well. I had to seek help from a doctor. When everything was going crazy for me, I had to seek help medically, and they were the ones that gave me the motivation to do what I'm doing here today. If there's anyone out there that it's into drugs and feeling depressed, and you just feel that okay, fine, you want to step out but you don't know how to, it can be hard, but it all starts by that step. It all starts by you just going out there and just seeking help. No one is going to hunt you down, no one is going to arrest you. It's just about you just coming out and just saying this is it, because that was the step I took.
Slick City Empire, Governor Kabir Yusuf rejects appeal court's explanation of typo error in certified true copy as Yoruba community urges others to intervene in Kano political unrest. I am Bola Oba, and this is Plus Politics. The Kano state government has rejected the appeal court's explanation that the error in the certified true copy CTC of its judgment on the state's governorship election was a typographical faux-pas. The court initially declared APC's Nasiru Gawuna as the winner, but the certified true copy CTC of the judgment surfaced on Wednesday, indicating that the court had affirmed Yusuf's victory contrary to the verdict it had earlier given on Friday, and indeed, parts of that same verdict indicated that it affirmed its position earlier given on Friday. Haruna Dederi, the Kano State Commissioner for Justice, criticized the court's explanation. Meanwhile, Yoruba community members in Kano State have urged all national Yoruba leaders and intellectuals to engage with President Bola Tinubu on a political solution to the state's political impasse. Taufik Olaosebikan, the group's Secretary General, made the request during a press conference in Kano. He called on all Yoruba Obas and leaders of thought to wade into the Kano situation without further delay by engaging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a possible political settlement of the Kano logjam. He noted that the Yoruba community is worried that the unfolding political situation will have adverse effects on the community in the state. Take a listen.
It is clear to all that the NNPP won the state. We are very worried that the unfolding political situation have adverse effect on us, the Yorubas in Kano. Kano is a very volatile state politically, and this is the reason why all men and women of goodwill should be concerned about the situation in Kano and rally around towards a collective initiative to save the state from any calamity which will affect us and our livelihood. In this regard, we are using this platform to call on all Yoruba Obas and leaders of thought to wade into the Kano situation without further delay by engaging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a possible political settlement of the Kano logjam. It is clear
This issue is an Executive Director, Center for Awareness on Justice and Accountability, Kaja, Kabiru Saidu Dakata, and the lawyer Abdul Karim Mode, are both based in Kano. Gentlemen, welcome to Plus Politics.
Thank you very much for having us.
Let me start with you, Kabiru. I wonder what the supplication of the Yoruba group would amount to, given the fact that this is a cause that is already on the machinery of the judicial system. Would you want to help us here? How would you respond to that?
I think we need to appreciate the fact that there are also key stakeholders, and they have every right to contribute to anything that will ensure justice to, anybody involved in the matter. And they did what they did because they believe if the right thing is not done, it will affect, everybody, including their members in the state. So what they did is not in any way against the fact that the issue is still passing through a judicial process. But they know that if justice is not done, definitely most innocent people are going to be affected. So if I understand their message, this is exactly the direction of their message. And I think they did the right thing as key stakeholders.
Abdul Karim, anybody who is familiar with the history of Kano knows that for almost 300 years now, be it succession to the emirship or indeed the governorship of Kano, partisanship can be very, very volatile and violent in Kano. To anybody who is looking at it from outside the realm of the law, maybe this shout is necessary. I know you are a lawyer, you may want to help us from the two sides, the legal view of it and the appeal of the Yoruba group. We may have to go back to Kabir whilst Abdul Karim is trying to tidy the workings of his device. Kabir, how would you respond to the fact that there is a history of rabid and violent partisanship in Kano, even predating the modern system of government that produces governor, even in the area of the emirship? This volatility, this situation has to be well managed, I guess. How would you respond to that?
You are right to say that that history is there, and that will not be unconnected with the, orientation of the Kano people. Kano people are civilized. Kano people know their rights. Kano people can go a different direction from, the direction even other parts of the country can take. So that history you're talking about is because of these factors I mentioned. So in Kano, we speak, with one voice. So anything that will come to, jeopardize that effort, the average Kano person will not take it lightly. So that history is still intact, and that Kano person you used to know has not changed. People can change, but the orientation is still there with the people of Kano State. They don't, take enforcement. You cannot come and impose something on them. You can't come and impose something on them. The Kano people know their rights. They know their economic rights. They know their social rights. And also they know their political rights. So if they express their, interest, and if you attempt to, tamper with that arrangement, so they will not take it lightly. And this is exactly what happened, or what is trying to happen in Kano State. This is a person that contested an election in 2019. This man won his election in 2019. He defeated the then incumbent governor of the state. But it was manipulated, to introduce something strange at that time. That is the inconclusion of the election. The election was declared inconclusive, and on the day of the rerun, thugs were brought into Kano, and they intimidated voters, and at the end, the then governor was declared winner of the election. The man went to court in 2019.
We'll get back to you, Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim, we'll get back to you.
When he went to court in 2019, he passed through the 3 stages of the tribunal, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. He did not get what he expected to get. He did not do anything. He waited for another 4 years. In 2023, he
okay,
contested.
Kabir, I'll get back to you.
Hello.
Let me speak to Abdul Karim now. Abdul Karim, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Wonderful.
Fantastic, sir.
Okay, you are a lawyer.
Yes.
And would you want to summarily take us through how far we have, what it has taken to bring us to this point of very controversial circumstance? You want to give us a summary of it?
Well, you know, at the initial stage, there was a petition against His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf. The All Progressive Congress was out its candidate, challenged the victory of His Excellency. And Kano said that is the election 2023. They went to court. They challenged about 83 polling units where they said malpractices and other corrupt practices occurred in Kano State. In that circumstances, during the trials, they were only able to bring 32 witnesses in court. 30 witnesses are the witnesses that have spoken directly from the polling units, trying to confirm or voting and so on and so forth. 2 witnesses, that is the one, that is the total number, the total PBC collected in those 30 polling units. They called agents from those respective polling units was just 22,000, What is the difference between His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf and all progressive candidates or its candidates was 128,000 plus. That is assuming without conceding that those witnesses has proved those allegations contained in the petition based on those polling units. They have not breached or they have not been able to bridge the gap that existed between Abba Kabir Yusuf, APC, and its candidates, which is 128,000 as against 22,000. The tribunal in its own judgment, when it was delivering the judgment, they said now that they relied on the evidence of a subpoena witnesses, who happens to be an expert witnesses, that 165,616,000 votes should be deducted from the votes of His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf. It is rosy and important to note that in none of the pleadings of the petitioners where they pleaded those votes they alleged to have been illegal, they have not equally pleaded the various polling units where those invalid votes was discovered. They have not equally pleaded where those illegal ballots was equally discovered.
Barrister,
yes.
We can't retry the case on a brief TV show like this. At this point, we know that the Court of First Instance, the tribunal, ruled in favor of the petitioner. We know that at the official reading of the judgment of the appeal at the Court of Appeal, the Court of Second Instance similarly ruled in favor of the defendant, because the appeal from the first instance was from the original defendant. Now, the only thing that is stoking this controversy now is the fact that the certified true copy of the judgment has duplicitous passages or paragraphs. On the one instance, 2 paragraphs on a particular page 69, 2 paragraphs speak to the fact that the governor's position is intact. 3 paragraphs speak to the pronouncement that the governor has lost his appeal. So in cases like this, what should be the recourse of the parties? Okay, we go on a short break now, and when we're back, we take it on from where we've left it.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Welcome back. To be honest with you, I've been in broadcasting for a number of years. It's been a while I've seen a scammer or hijacker trying to wrestle the system from the engineers. But we're back. Kabil, are you there?
I'm here.
Kabil, we are in a situation now in Kano that is a bit tense, and we really want all residents of Kano to be a bit sober, careful, and know that violence ultimately could be very costly. How would you respond to that?
You're very right to say that the situation in Kano is tense, but I would have wanted you to say what caused the situation. And I know you know the answer. Everybody knows the answer. You see, justice must not only be done, but it must also be seen to be done. And in a situation where injustice, you are bound to see a situation like the one you are seeing in Kano. You are talking of more than million voters that voted for a person and their family members, and also people who did not even vote for him, but they know the truth of what happened, and they are asking for justice for the person. So it's not about the situation of Kano at the moment. It's about what caused the situation and who has the solution to the situation. You understand? In 2019, like I said earlier, Abba Kabir Yusuf contested an election. The people of Kano State gave him more than 1 million votes. He defeated the then governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. But the election was declared as inconclusive. On the day of the election,
Kabir, we have to be very careful. Yeah. The last elections, that's the 2019 elections, was contested and was litigated to the Supreme Court, and a winner was declared. We cannot be recontesting an election that has been settled, indeed, that the tenure had elapsed. Let me go to Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim, you lawyers and the judiciary have put us in this mess now. So how do we get out of the mess? Especially given the fact that we don't want to toy, we don't want to play around with the emotions and the mood of the Kano citizenry. These are people who don't take things lying down like that. How do we resolve this? Abdul Karim? Abdul Karim, can you hear me? Oh, the gremlins are out today, really out. Okay, Kabir, okay, you want to respond?
I wanted to conclude a thought, trying to set a background of what happened in 2019. But let me talk of what happened in 2023 and what gave birth to the current situation. The man won his election, and the defeated candidate, the candidate of the APC, came out to congratulate him and said he is not going to contest that victory. You understand? His party went to court. And the first judgment of the tribunal was delivered in favor of the APC. But for the people of the states, that judgment has a sentiment in it, because in the judgment, the name of the candidate of APC, Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, was mentioned as the petitioner in that case, and he was not a petitioner. Abba Kabir Yusuf and his party filed an appeal to the Court of Appeal. At the Court of Appeal, you understand, the judgment was delivered also in favor of the APC. But for every lawyer, thank God we are having a lawyer in this conversation. For every reasonable lawyer, after a judgment, if you ask him, the next thing he will tell you is, let us wait and see the content of the judgment, the written judgment, because it is what he will use, as a guide to head to the next court if you are not satisfied with the judgment. But God in his mercy, God in his wisdom, in that documented written judgment, the victory was given to the candidate of NNPP, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf. So the people of the state now had their, hope revived, because they were not happy with the judgment delivered at the Court of Appeal. So what the situation is telling the world is, the people of Kano State are saying, we are not going to allow anybody to take away our mandate. We are not going to allow anybody to take our mandate.
Karim,
and what we hear from them, they said they are ready for anything.
Abdul Karim, you need to unmute your device. Kabir, the point is that, Abdul Karim, can you hear me? Now the case has been appealed and is going to the Supreme Court. And the lawyer to the governor, Alani Kwekun, I read somewhere today where he was saying that the so-called amendment that the registrar of the Court of Appeal purportedly mouthed, that amendment will not stand in law because the jurisdiction of the Court of Appeal has expired, and that they will go to the Supreme Court with that CTC. What would that amount to, Abdul Karim, you are a lawyer? Would that not be very funny at the level of the Supreme Court?
As I told you, the jurisdiction of the tribunal has already been hostage. because 60 days within which to entertain and deliver the judgment has already expired. By whatever means, the Court of Appeal has no any power whatsoever to make, even if it is a clerical error. And in these circumstances, the judgment sought to be edited or sought to be corrected is not even clerical error. It is trying to amend an order, a final order of the court. Because anything touched in that order is like it is completely giving a different meaning to the order granted by the Court of Appeal itself. So I believe, based on Section 285 of the Constitution, the Court of Appeal has no power whatsoever to make any amendment whatsoever because it has become punctus officio. It is only the Supreme Court now that has jurisdiction to make such amendment or otherwise. And even before the Supreme Court, we really have to make a serious argument.
But the confusing situation now, Abdul Karim, is that when this CTC gets to the Supreme Court, the CTC itself is going to lead to a fundamental confusion at the level of the Supreme Court, because this is a document that is speaking two inconsistent languages at the same time. How would the Supreme Court deal with this? This is sad, but it's funny.
This is to even show to an ordinary common man that this judgment, the judgment of the Court of Appeal, especially in respect of the order granted in favor of the respondent, is faulty completely. It is faulty. It cannot stand. There is no any other law that supports the judgment of the Court of Appeal in relation to the order granted in favor of FEC. It is too glaring. It is too glaring. There is no basis. The decision is faulty. And we are challenging part of that decision where it says APC is now declared the winner of the election.
But Abdul Karim, I'm not a lawyer, you are the lawyer here, but from the journalistic end of the divide, one of the reasonings or two main reasonings of the Court of Appeal, or the reason why the Court of Appeal claimed in the reading of the judgment before the CTC came out that they were affirming the decision of the tribunal was because, one, that the governor, as at the time he was nominated as the candidate of his party, was not a bona fide member of the NNPP. That's number one. Number two is the second one that you tried to explain away. That's the invalidation of more than 160-something not properly registered ballots. Now, the situation is such that the Court of Appeal, however, has given a very controversial CTC, and the two parties are claiming victory. When they get to the Supreme Court now, how would the Supreme Court handle this? You are a lawyer, help us.
Well, we already have grounds of appeal. You understand? We already have grounds of appeal, which the party, that is NNPP, lodged an appeal before the Court of Appeal, challenging part of the decision of the Court of Appeal. If that succeeded, automatically the judgment of the Court of Appeal in respect of the version we appeal against, it will be set aside. The two versions relied often, when they were reading the judgment, everybody knows that Section 177 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it only forbids the issue of independent candidature, as it has been decided in plethora of Supreme Court cases. Peter Obi against Bola Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar against Bola Tinubu, recently decided by the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal itself. So by this judgment cannot stand.
Hello, barrister.
The Court of Appeal is The Court of Appeal is appropriating and reprobating. In some other cases, they said it is pre-election matter. Now, it is only in this case of Kano that they say it is a secondary election issue, which is not at all. It is not at all. Then the invalidation of those invalid votes. They relied on Section 71 of the Electoral Act. That section talks about the statement of result, not ballot papers. Not ballot papers. The relevant section under Electoral Act is Section 63, sub 2.
Okay, Abdul Karim, I know you are a lawyer. You can go on and on this, but unfortunately, hello, Abdul Karim. We really have to wrap it up at this juncture. I am very, very grateful for the two of you, Abdul Karim and Kabir. You have been wonderful, wonderful contributors. One just prays that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will let the peace hold in Kano, that we will not have incidents of violence, lives will not be lost, and the peace of Kano will be the peace of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate you. Today's throwback. Oja Akpomu, the 400 years plus Yoruba market, which is a totemic cultural icon. The historically significant Akpomu market holds a revered place in the cultural and economic heritage of the Yoruba people. Situated in present-day Osun State, southwest Nigeria, this thriving market has been a vital center for trade and commerce for more than 4 centuries, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural traditions within the expansive Yoruba civilization, which sprawls over parts of today's Nigeria, Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. Steeped in history and tradition, the Akpomu market remains a vibrant symbol of the enduring legacy of Yoruba commerce and cultural longevity. The roots of the Akpomu market can be traced back to ancient times, when it emerged as a pivotal meeting point for traders from diverse Yoruba communities and beyond. As one of the oldest markets in the sub-region, Akpomu became a crucial hub for the trade of agricultural produce, textiles, livestock, crafts, and sadly so, slaves at some point by Yoruba traders, before the legendary Alaafin Abiodun decreed that no bona fide Yoruba soul must be sold to slavery anymore. Folklore has it that it was the defense of the anti-slavery edict of Alaafin Abiodun by the warrior clan Owus, which got the slave trading profiting Ijebus and the Oyo despising Ifes to conspire and wage war against Orile Owu, the aboriginal homestead of the Owus, and led to their eventual dispersal across Yoruba land, with most Yoruba settlements having little Owu enclaves and the sizable rump in Abeokuta after an initial pre-formation of the Ibadan habitation of that geographical space. Beyond its economic importance, the Akpomu market has played a pivotal role in preserving and sharing Yoruba cultural traditions. The bustling marketplace became a melting pot of diverse cultures, languages, and customs as traders from different Yoruba communities and neighboring regions converged to engage in commercial activities and cultural exchanges. The exchange of goods was accompanied by the sharing of traditional knowledge, folklore, and oral histories, creating a rich tapestry of cultural interaction and mutual enrichment. In addition to its economic and cultural significance, the Akpomu market saw The Akpomo market also functioned as a vital social and political arena within Yoruba society, serving as a focal point for community interaction. The market was a space where people from different walks of life could come together, engage in lively discussions, and form social connections. It also served as a platform for the dissemination of news, information, and edicts from rulers, thus becoming an integral part of the social and political fabric of Yoruba communities. Moreover, the Akpomo market continues to stand as a living tribute to the resilience and adaptability of Yoruba economic and cultural practices, despite the challenges posed by changing times and modernization. The market remains a dynamic center of trade and cultural exchange, embodying the enduring spirit of the Yoruba people's economic and cultural tradition. Iloya Onibode Akpomo, as they usually say in Yoruba, about time I left. I am Bola Oba. Have a good day.
My name is Yetunde Adefolahan Odejayi. The fourth in line from my late parents, Reverend Jacob Adeshoga and Grace Folorunsho Badejo of blessed memory from Ijebu-Igbo. I was born and grew up in Ilesha, the old western region, now Osun State. Exciting days with great reminiscences. First, I am Yetunde because I was born shortly after my late father lost his mother. So, all respects for my father's mother were automatically transferred to me, as it was believed she was the one who came back. I remember I was so pampered by the late Mr. Oke, my teacher in primary 1 at Imesile, to the extent that my mother resisted and insisted I must repeat that class. Those were days when parents were less sentimental in ensuring their children had sound academic footing. Good old days. I think of our unblemished dedication to service, our disciplined lifestyle of waking up at 5 a.m. for morning prayers, engaging in household chores, arriving school early, eat lunch at 3 p.m., serve siesta for 1 hour, read till 7 p.m., and prepare for dinner by 8 p.m. Submit your assignments and essays for my father's scrutiny. Prayer time 9 p.m., bedtime 10 p.m. That was the routine. Good old days. We are who we are today through God's grace and because of those strict upbringing and high moral values impacted on us, not only by our parents, but from schools, places of worship, recreation, and even from our immediate community. I recall when Bami would be passing by and just order any recalcitrant child who had frustrated his parents to start living with us. At some point, we were over 23, living on a meager salaries of 2 teachers, Bami and Mami. Now, I stop to wonder, can we relive those old times again? Will our children believe us when we tell them our salaries at some point were not more than 36 naira a month as a teacher in a modern school in Ijebu-Igbo? The great concern now is to wish for a brighter future for the upcoming ones and join in this drive Our children must not also refer to this era in future as good old days. We can change the narrative. Our children deserve a brighter and better tomorrow, not the good old days. I join Shemore in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.
Research has it that working with your spouse has an impact on your personal relationship, as some couples believe that working and building a business together has made their personal relationship much stronger, deepening their trust, appreciation, and making both the business and marriage more successful. But the question is it healthy for couples to work together? Well, we're about finding out from this couple, Andrea and Collins Teke, who do not only have the same career, but also work in the same organization and as well share office space. This is how these two on-air personalities resume their dream career jobs together every day. Collins and Andrea Teke were renowned individual broadcasters before they fell in love and got married. Not a few people think that relationships are hard enough to deal with on their own, and when you throw working together into the mix, it can get even trickier. One interesting thing about the Tekes is how seamless the couple anchors the same show together, a first of its kind in Nigerian radio.
Lagos, Nigeria, we want to know how you're doing this morning. What is going on around your area? We want you to tell us and also scream, "What's up, Lagos?" Yes! Yes! Chest alive!
They didn't always work together. Collins used to run a production studio, and it was at work that he met Andrea.
I needed a female voice. The client demanded for a specific female voice that sounded a certain way. And explained it to one of my, staff or team members at the time. And he said, "No, I know this lady. This lady is, she has a great voice. She's fantastic. She's beautiful." So, the boss, you even like the babe self, that kind of thing. And I said, "Okay, let's hear." Before you know it, there was a phone call. Before you know it, and then, it was timely. She came into the studio working. She just stole the presence of the room, And I couldn't do anything. I didn't have anything in mind because at the time I was in another relationship.
What happens at home? Does Andrea take up the role of a traditional African wife and mom?
I'm blessed to have him. I'm not sure that I'll be able to meet up. I'm not sure that I would be able to meet up if he has not been the way he has been, that is being super supportive. I wake up in the morning and the first thing is to take care of my baby because we have a son together. The first thing is to take care of him, have his bath, prepare his meal, cook and, clean, have my own bath prepared, and then we come to work. But the good thing is he takes up the responsibility of bathing this boy in the morning. So he takes that off my duty, so to speak. Sometimes I do it while he cleans or dresses him up. And then I face the kitchen. So we share that responsibility. It's more like sharing the responsibility at home and also sharing the responsibility at work. So it makes it easy for me.
It's a situation of we are going to work together. Yeah. We have to leave at the same time. We meet at the same time. Get on time. And then do our show. We have to prep afterwards, do everything together. So I can't go back home and start saying, "Where's my food? Where's my food from where?" You understand? So we plan it together. Yeah. And I think that pushed me to also, rise to the occasion, which is something I would encourage, especially couples, whether or not you're working together, to rise to the occasion when your woman needs it the most.
Thank you. Spending time together may be good for their relationship, but this couple also faces challenges, especially in maintaining their individual identities.
People will call on the show and say, "Hey, Collins, tell your wife." And the wife is right there. They call and they greet him first before they greet me. Some don't even greet me. Some don't even regard that I am on the show with him. Yeah. So it dealt with me when we started initially, dealt with me mentally, dealt with me emotionally, because it felt like I am there, but still not there. Because, you know, it took a while for people to recognize my presence, because at the end of the day, you are his wife. You are supposed to calm down when he's talking. You're supposed to be quiet when he's talking. And, you know, this is my job. I was a broadcaster before I got married to him. And so it is my job first. And that's what people took a while to embrace. It's still something I'm dealing with, and I think that people would gradually get used to it. There are no days that we don't have times where we quarrel, times where he's on a different cloud, I'm on a different cloud, and we have to come on the radio and talk and make Lagos happy.
And do it. Kick a show.
And make Lagos happy. So it's actually challenging where you have to let the world know that you're dealing with something and come on the air and be beautiful and be excited. We sometimes forget that we're having any issue, or there's a quarrel, or there's a misunderstanding, or there's one problem to deal with right on the show. And after the show, we're out, we're giving ourselves, that was a great show.
I don't realize, but we're fighting. People tend to just make what they make out of the situation. So whatever you present is what you get. So before you know it, your individual brand starts sinking in the joint brand.
Sharing an office space requires this couple having as little time away from each other as possible, as nerves may become frayed.
We have to create the fun.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Make it a fun-filled. That's what we do.
That's what I hear. We create our fun. When we're tensed, right, with everything happening, we call it decluttering. We probably go to the beach side, nobody with us, just the both of us, no phones, nothing. And we are sitting, discussing what is going on in our lives as individuals and also as a couple. We just declutter. What I have been having in my mind that is building up to a resentment, I tell it to him. He also tells me we find a way to trash it out.
And it's a no judgment zone.
Yeah, we try not to judge each other. We just say the way it is.
A number of private organizations don't allow their staff get romantically linked. Collins shares his view about this.
It's a world that is changing from what it used to be, making laws just because you want to make laws, but doing it for the best interest, in the best interest of those involved. So it's a question of, the interest of those involved. I don't think it changes anything. If anything, couples working together has proven, at least in our own case, that it promotes bonding. It also promotes, in fact, I've been a better broadcaster, from the moment she joined me on radio, and even the listener could notice that. I've been a better person, individual, even at work, behaving myself, not doing anything. Because my family is here, I can't go around messing around, even if I'm that crazy guy, I have to, So the benefits are countless. So if, I don't know what the fears are, but I think I want to talk to organizations who have such policies. I think they should review it and give people the chance. I mean, there's nothing wrong for people to be in love and work together.
That's right. I agree with him.
The couple have advice for couples willing to work and build business together.
Once you can create a great atmosphere when you're together, when no one is looking at you, when there's no camera like this one, I'm sure you can replicate that easily when there's a camera. So, but if you do not have that great life and then you want to fake it in front of people and come in and say, oh, everything is fine, hey, it's a matter of time. The toxicity that's involved in it would show, and then it would affect the work. So it all depends on the couple.
There would be challenges. There are things that you would experience that will make you feel like, no, I can't go on anymore. That's just the way marriage is. There are tough times that will make you feel like, yo, I cannot continue this. It's going to happen even with the business. But if you take it the way you take your marriage and say, regardless of this turbulence, regardless of the challenges, it has to work. We have to get it done. When you have that mentality, trust me, it might just come out beautiful.
From the office of the Techers, we head to the home of another interesting couple that has been into automobile mechanics for many years. Wale and Taya Oshikoya have been married for 10 years and working together in repairing vehicles. This home doubles as one of their workshops in Lagos. Marrying Wale was a dream come true for Tayo.
This work started through my husband. Even when we were during courtship, he has been on the field. I was not on the field, but I love the job. So after we get married, I have to join him so that we can work in together, because it's what I've been willing to do for long. And I just love that job. I just love it because when I was small, it's my dad's field. So I used to assist my dad when I was in primary, secondary school. So to God be the glory, after my school and everything, getting married, God now gave me someone that I love and the field I love most.
Meet my wife, we married together, and I have to tell my wife that this is the kind of work that I'm doing. And I somebody that I love so much, and she loved the work. So I say, well, I have to tell him to go and quit where he's working before. There's one company that she's working and is managing the company, and she agreed with me. She surrendered. She said, okay, she quit from there, and we'll join the work together. And thank God for now.
The home of Oshikoyas is well managed, according to a lady mechanic, as Tayo is called.
My work did not disturb my home at all. Even we stay behind, maybe we close very late. My husband will tell me very early that you go home, children are home, they are off from school, go home. Then I'll come home, my husband will be doing the job. By the second day, early in the morning, we will go to balance up the job.
You say, Wale, I say, ma, I say, this business, you have to go more forward now. I said, like how? Now you introduced me to one fashionable school in Ikorodu, automobile school, technology. So we went together. Take me to the school. I said, oh boy, okay. So I see some my junior brother that's even my age, my children age mates. I say, you see those ones that will sit down together in the class. I say, oh, no problem now. And I encourage myself because I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm going. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. So God give me I'll give God the glory. We'll sit down together. We'll write the exam, and then take me. So and I'll go there. He give me back school. He give me my shoe. Give me my everything, uniform. I take it. I go to the school. I saw some of my age mates, of my class, of my children mates. We sit down together. I say, Papa, I say, how are you? I'm your Papa. Yes.
Personal and marital issues are not allowed to link into the workspace.
We both have our ups and downs, but it doesn't affect our business. Exactly. Our ups and downs is inside our room. Once we are in the same bed together, our ups and downs is off. It did not affect our work. Customer cannot even see it in my face. Rather than for me to now say that, no, it's someone I love. Why will I disturb his business, or why will I disturb my business? If that thing shows in my work, that means our career is nothing.
Normally, as a woman being, as a flesh, we are flesh. Sometimes we fight. We quarrel each other. I told you that, go and do this work. We say, well, I'm tired. Which kind tired? My friend, you have to do it too. You also, I'm your boss. Say, okay. You know that I'm tired. I'm a woman now. I say, you have to do it because you love the job. We say, okay. And you do it. Sometimes, like last week now, I said him to go and do work in Ibadan. He say, only me. I say, yes, now. You go and face the work and you defend the work. And you go. Sometimes we'll quarrel, you fight, but you will say, I will hug him back because I know that he's woman. Says some things that I'll say, okay, come outside. Let me come and lose it for you. So we have to settle it back.
Wale and Tayo have had to endure side talks from people who think their line of profession is strange.
There's one man I used to work with him. He just called me and said, Wale, I said, sir. He said, why your wife used to follow you up and down? I said, sir, my wife is my colleagues. My wife is my partner for this business. If I want to take a boat now, or I want to do something, I want to buy this, I want to lose this, I will tell him, yeah, go and do this, go and do this. So I've faced so many challenges on this work with my wife. But so far, my wife, somebody like he make courage on the work, and she determined on him. There's no how people can discourage him. Even he will face so many challenges on in mommy's side, on family side issue, they say, why you follow your husband? Why do you tell your husband to open a supermarket for you and do business and selling and do this? You say, Mom, that's your own time. This is my own time. This person, I love it and I love the job. So all the worry people saying is raw. Sometimes they call me and say, Wally, why you don't get money to give your wife? I say, Mommy, it's not that I don't have money to give my wife, but my wife loves this job. So what? Say, okay, after some things or after so many years, they leave us.
If you are a dirty person from your home, you will surely be a dirty person. But if I'm going out now, wash my body, clean my hands, you won't believe that this person is a mechanic. I fix fingers as well. I do makeup if I'm going out. You won't even believe that I am a mechanic. That is why at times if we go to customers' house, before putting on my overall, they will say, you come with your wife. If they not say that, no, she's a mechanic, they will say, the women, they love to see me doing the job. They will say, Oga, go and sit down first. Let me see her, the way she's performing the whole things. Even if after everything, if the woman will not say, wow, woman does this one. If my workmanship is 2,000 naira, we say, oh, my dear, let me give her 5,000 naira because she encouraged me.
Sometimes I will tell them that, okay, today we want to go out, we don't do any work, we don't have any customers place today. We are going to dress, wear your dress, do your nails, do everything. I will take him out to go and enjoy ourselves.
As a woman, there is nothing hard. If you have the determination, this thing I want to lose it. It's almost the same thing the way we handle our husband and children at home. Any children that's very difficult, you know how to handle those children. That's why the work is.
See people that start before us, that is doing this business, that there is no more again. But we just give the God the glory because we achieved so many things on this work. And we thank God the kind of wife that is given to me. So we achieved so many things.
A work that you are doing, you can be able to train your children's school, and you can be able to cater for your home. Yeah, you can even have a shelter on your head, having your own car. What else someone needs on this earth? Nothing more.
They have also faced challenges working together as a mechanic couple.
If you have a space outside there, people see couples working together, we have more customers. But immediately you go outside there to make your own workshop, government will come and demolish it. It's a big challenge on us, even all mechanics. They see the work as a dirty work and they are going out on their daily basis with their cars. And of which, if the car eventually stopped on the road, they're still going to call we mechanics.
Wale and Tayo believe mono-career couples can emerge strong and fulfilled as long as their values align.
I encourage the people that want to do the business, want to do the work. They should focus on the thing that they want to do. Don't look down on yourself. Maybe you are too big, you are too do this. Just focus on it. And the couples that want to do the business, they have to have trust. Trust your wife. Let wife trust your husband. If you make money today, it's not that the money that you make today, you make sure that you finish all the money. You have to put half for savings or anything. Because like this job that we're doing now, we use our money to run the business.
If you have passion, you have zeal for your husband's work, and you doesn't have anything doing, it's very advisable to join your husband once you don't have any skeleton in quotes in your cupboard. So you have every right to join your husband just to make the business grow.
Our findings point that some couple craft a way to thrive in love and work by understanding each transition and knowing what questions to ask and what traps to avoid.
Yes! Cheers to life!
What's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, no.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild. This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 84.
SA Designs is a fashion accessory label that specializes in the design and creation of handcrafted bags and footwear. I knew I was going to do something in fashion. I didn't know what exactly it was going to be, but I knew I would be in fashion. If it used to be the cleaner in fashion, whatever, but I have to be in fashion. When we started off with just strictly bag making. But then you get people say, oh, can I get a matching shoe? And then over time, people say, oh, I would like to give my boyfriend a wallet, but I want it with Ankara or something. So over time, we had to listen to our customers and infuse their ideas into our brand. Okay, we wanted something with the African touch, with the Nigerian feel. We make leather bags. But if I'm making a leather bag and I put it in a store, if you don't know SA Designs is Nigerian, you probably think it's a foreign bag. So what's the point of promoting something that is not, if you look at, you can't link it to Africa, you can't link it to Nigeria. When there's something to promote Africa, when there's something to promote Nigeria, we also want to empower our artisans here. So that's why we keep our content local, raw materials local, production local. We still get a lot of people from around the world ordering from our website. So I believe it's because of what we've built, the brand we've built over time that still speaks for us. In the last 3 years, we've done over 10,000 items. We've sold over 10,000 items to both corporate clients, retail clients, and wholesale clients.
Treacherous body would have been manure for the motherland. Listen to the words of a corpse. You cannot win this war.
My production career started off practically by some form of divine intervention. I work in TV production, and I've done that in advertising for over 20 years. I do storytelling as well. I do narrative. I've done films, TV series, etc. I taught myself to draw. And that meant 4 hours of sketching every day, minutely competent, where people will say, this doesn't suck. You actually had to practice.
For God's sake, Emeka, we don't even have enough guns or food. What were you thinking? If you and Uzogo had not unleashed your unique brand of madness last January, we wouldn't be swimming in Biafran blood. It was a revolution!
I was one of my uncles, and he got me a job in, then it was Vanguard newspapers in Apapa. And I got to meet all my heroes because
to Dubai. Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Chinelo Anene and I'm joined by my co-amazing anchor. I haven't seen Diola in what, 4-5 months? It's been a very long time. And we're greening today without you, Uwa.
Green Monday.
I know, right? Hi Diola, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
How's
So
the week
good to
started
see
up?
you.
Thank you very much. How's your week going? Or has it started? Because today's just Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it started well. I had a great weekend, and I look forward to all the exciting things that's going to happen this week.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it was a very long weekend. There was a whole lot to do. And then I thought, okay, I had rested enough yesterday. And then this morning, I struggled to get out of bed. But yeah, we're here, one day down. For me, it's 2 days to go, not 4 days, because I took Thursday and Friday off work. So.
Wow. I'm envying you right now.
Okay, as we know, today is Monday on the show. And in partnership with the Enough is Enough team, we'll be touching on public procurement in Nigerian states. I really enjoy this because it actually helps me to keep my sense of civic responsibilities alive all the time. Yeah, Absolutely. So I always, even when I'm not on air, I see that whole Enough is Enough message drop on the group. I'm always so excited because I'm like,
yeah, something new to learn.
Something new. Yeah. But then here's what we found as today's quote. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. And this is by Jim Morrison. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. Because really, you can't, the media it has a very, very strong role to play, in the lives in the world generally, as a matter of fact. And nowadays, it is how news is transported, how information in general is transported or is transmitted, as the case may be. And just imagine, I remember back when they used to teach us social studies back then, and say, means of communication, and they say the town crier would beat the gong and all those things. And I'm like, I don't want to imagine how those things were in those days. But I'm very happy to see how it has transitioned now. And, how the digital space, what has happened in digital space and in the media as well, the role of technology in media as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I like that it's not so easy for anyone to claim ignorance anymore right now because information is readily at the tip, of our fingertips. It's everywhere you look. You just need to know where to look, Right. Even when you don't go looking for it, information actually comes looking for you. So yes, I mean, we're in a world where there is so much information and media is the proponent. It's so interesting how much media. In fact, I can honestly say that without media, it's hard to imagine what the world would be.
Right? Yeah. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So, Joel, I'm sure you have access to the EIP.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. So one moment, please. Let me just quickly. Okay. So. Today's episode of Enough is Enough, we're talking public procurement in Nigerian states and, Nigeria's weak governance demands that citizens vigilantly ensure accountability. Recent procurement revelations in states like Lagos, Abia, and Osun exposed financial mismanagement. With the dire state of the nation's economy, the reckless spending by politicians is quite concerning. Although some of these figures were denied, the grounds for denial are very weak. So let's look at procurement sham in Lagos. 30 million monthly allocation for empowerment programs and outreach to the office of the deputy governor's wife. 1.7 billion for the purchase of vehicles for the office of the chief of staff's carpool. Another 54 million for cleaning and maintaining the state house between May and October 2023. And then quickly to other states, for Abia, over 900 million spent on the governor's food and well-being between July and September 2023. True, we can argue that. Okay. Then there is for Osun State, 8 billion was reportedly spent on meals in the third quarter of the year. For Benue, 2 billion allegedly spent on the purchase of vehicles for the state governor. This is crazy. But okay, so let's quickly look at the effects of corruption in this state. So there's loss of public trust, there is economic deterioration, there is impaired public service, there is political instability, there is long-term insecurity. What can the citizens do? The citizens can act. Utilize platforms such as shineyoureye.org, Tracker, and the Office of the Citizen chat box, and of course, make optimal use of the FOI acts.
I love the fact that the AI is actually doing something in terms of educating the people, exactly, literacy, so that people actually know that you can actually hold these people accountable. Well, sometimes we just sit back and we hear all these things, we hear these figures, and we feel we just banter and banter. That we know how to do that a whole lot, but you can actually question these things, and we thank God for EIA. Like we always say, you can actually send a message to the WhatsApp chat bots, the Office of the Citizen chat bots. You can send hello via WhatsApp to 017006381, and I'm sure you can get every question that it is that you need to be answered in that way. Media has played a significant role in helping Nigeria with youth engagement in recent years, and the widespread use of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has provided young Nigerians with a powerful platform to voice their opinions, organize social movements, and connect with like-minded individuals. Today, we'll be discussing the role of media in youth engagement, but first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Waves. Cyber Monday was created in 2005 by Ellen Davis, a marketing manager at shop.org, as a way to promote online shopping on the Monday after Thanksgiving. The idea was to provide a shopping alternative to Black Friday, which is traditionally a time for in-store shopping. Cyber Monday quickly became popular, and now many retailers offer discounts on their websites on Cyber Monday. I never knew there was anything like Cyber Monday.
Never heard of it.
The very popular one that we all know is Black Friday. In fact, I got so many promotion emails, Black Friday, Black Friday, Black Friday. And I'm like, I saw this meme on Instagram where they went to some it wasn't in Nigeria, of course. And you know how they'll put the price as 179.99, then they'll put Black Friday and they'll write on that price. So the person went and slid the paper through it, and so that it was the same price as what they were offering as the Black Friday price. And I found that so hilarious.
I always feel that it's almost like a sham.
I know.
Really. Like, okay, maybe some days before they will put a price increase and then take it back to the original price and then say that it's Black Friday.
But apparently, thank God for Cyber Monday, but I don't think we practice that in Nigeria, because I haven't seen any organization do anything like Cyber Monday. Maybe from 2024 we'll start seeing that. Okay, Diala, what did you find in the news?
Okay, so this is UK confirms first human case of swine flu. So this is very similar to what has been circulating in pigs, which has been detected by the UK Health Security Agency on Monday. Routine surveillance in general practitioner surgeries picked up the case after the person suffered a mild illness. And, UK Health, whatever, they say that they're doing contact tracing now to prevent further spread of the virus. It is not known at this stage how transmissible the strain is, or if there could be other cases in the UK. And then they also say that it's too early to say if the strain could have pandemic potential. Now, that's very scary. The UK HSA has notified the World Health Organization of the latest cases. Scary.
I can't imagine us dealing with another pandemic. I really do hope
the
that
world can't deal with that.
I hope that this is mitigated as soon as possible and something is done about it as fast as possible. On my end, Tinubu, this is from Dakwa Abiodun, it says Tinubu inherited government almost in coma. And this was said by the governor of Ogun State, Dakwa Abiodun. He said that the country was almost comatose as reported. This is a reported speech, so to say, by Punch. Said the country was almost comatose when President Bola Tinubu came into power. He disclosed this during an interview on Channels Television, and he said, the President Tinubu-led administration has been very bold and audacious. I'm not sure that this is a conversation because if we start talking about this now, we would probably turn this to the topic of today. Because I don't expect him to say anything otherwise anyway. Definitely. I don't expect him to say otherwise. So hearing this from him, okay, yeah, the country was in a state of coma. But you had already made so many promises about what happened. But like people always say, it's just been how many months, have you? Okay.
It's been long months. The winter is long.
Very and dry. I must say, not just long, very dry as well. Okay, I mean, we're having a very interesting conversation today, speaking about the role of media in youth engagement. But then we'll continue the conversation when we come back from this break. See you after the break. Thanks for staying with us. According to data published in the ad planning tools of the top social media platforms, there were 28.20 million users aged 18 and above using social media in Nigeria at the start of 2023, which is equivalent to 25.3% of the total population aged 18 and above at that time. Nigeria's internet penetration rate stood at 55.4% of total population at the start of 2023. The KPS analysis indicates that the internet users in Nigeria increased by 2.9 million, which is about above 2.4% between 2022 and 2023. This proves that there's an increasing penetration of digitization amongst Nigerians, which means people have more access to media and to information as well. Media does play a crucial role in shaping the perspectives, values, and behaviors of youth, influencing their engagements in various aspects of society, and if used correctly, can serve as a powerful tool for promoting youth participation in civic activities, fostering social awareness, and empowering them to become active agents of change. So tonight we're asking, what is the role of media in youth engagement? Please let's say what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. The number to WhatsApp again is 081-8038-4663. Diola, the role of media.
Well, I think the media plays a very key role in information dissemination, for providing platforms, like engagement platforms, for educational purposes, to like we just did with
EIA,
EIA, and then of course there is the social impact as well. But I think that for me, the most powerful, really, the two most powerful, really, are for information dissemination and then for education. It is expected that, you know, where there is constructive, where the media, you know, correctly performs its role, you know, we can ensure that good information is actually disseminated.
Absolutely.
You know, because that's also something that is very
key.
Very key. The fact that, you know, yes, there is media, but is it good media? You know, that's very important. So.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for actually saying that. You know, I always say to people that although people believe that, okay, yeah, social media has its own pros and cons and all of that, but then what baffles me the most is what social media, let me say media generally now, what media does in terms of misinformation. Right? I detest it. On days like that, I literally want to curse the media because I'm like, why would you spread, you know, something that first of all is not true? How about people just come together and get their facts straight? Look at the case of this thing where they said the ban on Dubai had been lifted. It spread like wildfire, you know. First, because people were looking forward to that, so we had been waiting to see, if this administration was going to be able to lift that ban. And before we knew what was happening, one person picked it up, and then it went. Even all the news agencies were carrying it, and only for us to hear 2 days later that was not the case. And I'm like, what's going on? So, like I said earlier, right? There's an increasing penetration of social media with the youth, especially because as it is, we saw that during the election, the youth have a very large role. So let's narrow this down to talking about governance and politics in this case now. So when we talk about the role of media in governance and in politics, I would say that it's actually very, very important, right? Because it actually helps, first of all, to educate.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that there are quite a number of youth out there that if there was no form of media in quotes during this past election, there would have been no participation per se. There would have been no participation. So if we're talking about one of the pros, I would say that it has played a very, very huge role and impacted a whole lot in the political space. So I would say the media is very, very important. True. If I do say so myself.
Very true. Very true. And jump on that narrative and they believe it to be true and make decisions based on that narrative, which is very dangerous. And I see a lot of that happening within the political space. So you find out that a lot of young people get agitated, and at the root of it is just something very false. So, I mean, we're in an age where everybody is perspective. And that doesn't necessarily make it true. But maybe because you are eloquent or you have the right platform, and then you just push it out there. And then, so I see that playing around a lot. And I really hope that we can begin to be very introspective. We can begin to not just take things hook, line, and sinker, but truly
do your own investigation. Find out for yourself.
You should
very, very important. A lot of fact checking rather needs to be done. I also want to talk about something. If we talk about the echo chambers of social media now, I'm going to carry on this campaign. How I'm going, what narrative it is that I have in my head. Do you get? I strongly believe that we need to, as soon as possible, drop all of that. And like you rightly said, do a lot of investigation. Check to make sure that I remember there was one conversation we had during the elections as well, when I was speaking about politics and all of that. And she was talking about how people actually need to go in depth. We need to carry on this thing of polytracy. And that's where media would actually come in. I think a lot of media houses now need to start supporting this thing, supporting this movement, making sure that people actually have the right information, since the media is the one that actually has access to some of all these HNIs and people that are actually involved in false news. Also, let's talk about confirmation bias as well. Which, I mean, everything just still ties down to, that same circle of, So the truth is that the media has a very large, we cannot overemphasize it. The media has a very large, especially when it comes to the youth. Because we're the ones on social media.
Yeah.
We're the ones watching television. We're the one, be it cable TV, be it through the internet, watching the online web channels and all of that. We're the ones.
Yeah.
So we have a very, very, very large connection to what the media is doing. And in that way, the media also needs to make sure that there is responsible information that is carried out.
Very key, very key. I mean, taking it back to where we started from about the media being a powerful tool of education, the media also empowers the people, because you can only, act based on what you know. If you don't know, or if you've been fed the wrong information, you would act that way. But if we have people in the media who are practicing responsible journalism, you understand, where we take away our own personal biases, and then we report things as it is, and then let the people form their own opinions based on the facts of the matter, then I think that we'll begin to see a more objective approach to the way that we think. And a lot of what I see now is, pardon the word, paparazzi. It's a lot of, in fact, it's almost as if the more scandalous it is, the better. Honestly, we have, because I mean, things like this can burn a nation if we're not careful.
Of course. I mean, that being said, right, I think that we also need to create a more balanced information ecosystem, and that's what I mean when I say that the media needs to be more responsible, so that we're hearing different viewpoints, right? That ecosystem is balanced. It is not just a case of, they said Alhaji one thing, did blah 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 blah, and then everybody Alhaji is a bad man because of this. Do you understand? It's annoying because there's several other things that Alhaji has done, that he has done that seems.
Right. You're so right. And quickly coming back to that, I remember we had spoken about it here, how the media needs to play a huge role in helping to advance women politics.
Yeah.
And again, young people, we say that they're the future of tomorrow. Young people are expected to be in, to participate in politics, governance, and all that. But young people are also watching.
Absolutely.
They're like, if you can do this to a Binta, I mean, all the poor woman just did was come out for election or something, and then you shredded her like this. I mean, I don't even want to put myself in that kind of position. You understand?
Yeah.
So I mean, let's honestly, there has to be responsible media. There has to be a better way to do this, and I can assure you, if the pressure is less, again, I mean, let me speak on this idea of it's almost like a herd mentality. This narrative, everybody, because someone said it, someone with a platform said it, it must be true.
In our heads there.
Exactly. And again, I mean, this comes back to media. So I don't know if there is some sort of governance, around the media ecosystem to ensure that it is fair, it is balanced, and it is accurate. Even if it is not accurate 100% of the time, at least most of the time, it is. And then we will now discover that young people will see that there is actually no need to sensationalize anything. Because that's what we're doing now. We feel the more sordid it is, the better the clickbait, the better the engagement, the better. So we're learning. And all these things we're learning, we have to unlearn them fast.
As soon as possible. Yeah, I think we'll take a break, but then when we come back, we'll be talking about the influence of policy, how media actually influenced policy with youth engagement. See you after the break.
for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a
If you're just tuned in, we're discussing the role of media in youth engagement. Please let's say what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 08180384663. So before we went, we were talking about the pros and cons of the media and youth engagement. We had discussed why the media, or rather what the media needs to do better. We talked about the media creating a balanced ecosystem. And now I want us, Jola, to discuss I'm sure that there are some examples or some campaigns that we have seen talking about, we've been discussing a lot about, or rather we've been talking generally about digitization. So let's now narrow it down to social media, right? Let's look at some social media campaigns that were driven by the youth and what role or what influences were made, or maybe like policy changes and things like that. And I'll just mention one very quickly, and that's two actually. One globally and one locally in Nigeria. Let's look at the NSAS movement, for example.
That one, I mean, that one.
I think it was, that went it fired up the way it did because of social media.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have believed that people literally shut down their lives.
Yes. Nigeria shut down, like really.
It was beautiful to see, right? And that just shows you that, see, it is very, very, very crucial that we start to pay attention to what the power of media, right? Look at Black Lives Matter. Till tomorrow, even the little children are going Black Lives and Black Lives Matter. That is also the role of media.
True.
So what are we then talking about? It's absolutely important and cannot be overemphasized. I'm not sure if you have any.
There is one I remember, Tiananmen Square, the one in China, where the students, and I mean, it started with students just sending messages to each other, and before you knew it, they had literally hundreds of thousands, at the protest. And again, I mean, the power of media, the power of digitization. Information travels at the speed of light, and when young people somehow, when information gets to them and they are united for a purpose, it's amazing what they can do.
There's usually a transformative impact that can be done or that can be achieved when the media is actually used properly. That's very true. It always amazes me when people, especially our old folks, when they go, oh no, the media, social media. Yes, of course, they are bad, as it is with everything that has its advantages and its disadvantages. We can't deny that, of course, right? But then if we actually look at it and we weigh it, you would find out that the pros are actually a whole lot more than what the cons are. And in that light, I don't know why we shouldn't go with it. I also think that the government has a very large role to play in terms of helping and making sure that the media is actually utilized to its full potential, right? Because I sometimes, even these numbers that we're saying, oh, it's increasing, there's a lot of penetration and all that, I think that we can still do a whole lot more. Yes, compared to imagine we're talking about 25%, 24%. So what happens to the other 75%? So I think that we still have a very long way to go in engaging the youth, making sure that people are actively involved, educating people, whatever. No, we have now realized that we actually have a role to play. There's a part that it is that we have to play. Realizing also that the media also can help. So you can wake up today and, you look at one policy, they said they wanted to pass one bill. I'm not going to discuss what bill it is. And I went on Twitter and, oh my God, Twitter was on fire. And sometimes I'm like, I just wish that these people that were behind their keypads, would actually come out in real life and, say these things and put all these words into action. Trust me, there will be a major transformation and movement, right? All of these campaigns that we see happening, all of this worldwide, not just in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, globally, right? It can all be, patterned to what the media, or what role the media actually has to play. So let's now talk about what potential trends it is that we might be seeing in the future. What potential trends do you think?
Well, I think that in the nearest future, which is now, really, media is going to play a powerful. In fact, it's going to be it's going to be the most important, the game changer in politics and even governance. I mean, with media, you can be made or you can be mad. It's as simple as that. Because again, there is nothing hidden anymore with this digital space now. All you need to do, you just do it like
snap of your fingers.
Everybody knows. So if we want to start engaging young people, we want to start teaching accountability, we want to start teaching participation. When young people see that, oh, this can actually happen. Again, Office of the Citizen, when they tell you this is your role as a citizen, and then we begin to understand that, then we would also understand, okay, listen, when I'm watching out for stuff in the media, this is the kind of stuff I should be looking out for.
Right.
I'm not looking at the gossip. I'm not looking at, maybe it's the father of 7 children. No. What I'm actually looking at should be around the code of conduct. How has he performed as, an elected official? Has he done this? Is the process free? Is it fair? Is it, so our engagement is much more focused. You understand? Even with the leadership. And of course, if we engage like that with the leadership, we become better followers. When we become better followers, we become active participants in the business of nation building. That's how nations grow.
Of course.
So there's no rocket science to it. There's no magic happening. People would only act based on what they know and what they see and what they are exposed to or what they're given the opportunity
to even know in the first place. That's true. I also think that a lot of platforms, talking about what might happen in the future, a lot of platforms will actually evolve, right? And this would actually cause some, if I do say so myself, significant implications, right? So if we look at terms of, sometimes I sit down and I think, and I look at it in terms of AI, what would possibly happen, right? It's because there's just going to be a whole lot to learn and absorb. And in that light, it's going to actually keep people on their toes, like you rightly said. So nothing is hidden. We all know that this is what this thing is supposed to be. So you cannot come to us and sell us nonsense. Because we know what is attainable. We know what we are looking out for. We know what the expectations are. So you're not going to come to us this morning and tell us, oh,
red is blue.
When there is advanced technology, no, they'll call your bluff. And call you out on your BS and tell you, no, this is what it is supposed to be. I can't wait for that day to actually see what is actually going to happen. But then let's not dream too far. I think my imaginations are beginning to run too wild. Let me come back home and come back to reality of what is actually happening
in Nigeria
and what is achievable now in Nigeria, right? I mean, it all just boils down to the same thing that we've been saying, right? Responsibility. I think that's another angle we need to look at. How can the youth use media generally more responsibly?
I mean, it cannot be about clickbait. It cannot be because I want a trend. We're doing ourselves a disservice if we do that. Because guess what? Now, the interesting thing let me quickly jump to AI.
Yeah.
AI is a collection of information.
Absolutely.
It is what you put in the cyberspace that would return to you. So if you put garbage in, it's garbage out. It's simple. So you just begin to understand that you're learning the wrong things. So let us just, I think we can do better, especially in Nigeria. Sometimes we think that the only way for us to pass information is to be sensational about it. Even when we know for a fact that it's not right. So let's stop that. Let's stop, because I mean, history, they say history is written by the people who write first. So if we want to write our own history, if we want this nation for some reason, even as a people, as a culture, religion, whatever, it has to be based on the truth or fact. Maybe not truth, but facts.
Of course.
You understand? Such that even if I don't agree with the fact, I can't dispute the fact that this is the fact. The numbers have to check. The words have to check. The dates have to align.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's do that. And again, quickly, one of the biggest things that we will see, I mean, with media is our process. Maybe, just maybe, we'll begin to see a little shift towards the positive. I'm hoping so. That if more people, know about this.
Yeah.
I mean, with this last election, now we understand the role of INEC.
A whole lot
a whole lot
in
more.
fact.
Exactly. So next election cycle, people know what they're going to look for. People understand the process better. And that's the power of media.
So media offers some sort of literacy. So educating us more as to what should be going on in the political space, what should be going on in terms of governance, what we should be expecting, how things should be done. Very true, very true. I mean, I think that this can't be, we can't say this enough as a matter of fact, right? It's literally like the quotes that were said earlier by Jim Morrison, right? It is what it is. You can't, it's what we're seeing. It's what is going on out there. It is what is transmitted. It is the information that is passed. If I don't know something today, I don't know what the color white is supposed to be like. I know white is white because I was told that white is supposed to be white. So if you come here today and tell me that this is white, I'll tell you, no, this is not white. This is what white is supposed to look like. And that's just what information is, right? And as it is now, if so even if it is in form of print, I don't even want to know whatever kind of media it is that we're talking about. We're talking about the digital media, we're talking about print, we're talking about the local way,
word of mouth,
verbally, whatever it is. It is just a way of passing information. And at the end of the day, whatever that we've seen, so there has to be some high level of truth. Let me call it that in the media space. So I think the media houses have a very, very huge role to play. First of all, realizing the fact that they are responsible for what is taken in.
Yeah.
They are responsible for whatever it is that is said about this space in the next, 20, 50, 100 years. And so in that light, they need to know or make sure that what is fed is actually responsible information.
I agree.
I think that a lot of youth also need to understand there needs to be a lot of, I think I'm using that word literacy a lot, but I mean, I think that is the bedrock, right?
Yes.
There has to be a lot of unlearning.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be a lot of relearning and learning as well. Because if we go by what it is that we know now, I'm very afraid of what it is that's going to happen to us in the nearest future. Because let's now even move away from politics and governance now. We know that on the Way Show, I mean, which is even the bedrock of the Way Show in the first place, right? To be able to educate, the youth, get the youth to talk more, get them to be more engaged as to what it is that is going on and all of that, which is why we're doing this every day.
Yeah.
More so even on Mondays, that's why we're talking about. People say, oh, why you always talk about politics and governance? But that's because people need to know, because a lot of people don't know. And how else would they know?
If we
don't educate them, if we're not saying it, right? So it is actually very important for us to make sure that we're driving, and I'm appealing to every form of media house, be it from the newspapers, be it social media houses, whatever it is, please, let us make sure that we're passing on responsible and accurate information. I think we have a comment somewhere. Okay, yes, of course we do. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? #ways. The role of the media and youth engagements. The role of the media and youth engagement should not be overemphasized, according to my dear beautiful sister Chinelo. She also made mention of the media playing a very important role in youth engagement because it educates and gives responsible information, which I agree. My dear beautiful sister D said that the role of the media empowers the youth To me, I also believe that it creates awareness for you to select businesses of their choice. Very true. Finally, my dear beautiful sister Chinelo is back. I'm so happy and excited. Please don't disappear again. You're very important to us. God bless you. My name is Daniel, always regular fan. Daniel, I am back. I am here. But yeah, I love what he said there. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for always participating. You know, creating awareness, of course, in every light way, shape, and form of what you term awareness to be, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's the role that the media actually plays, right? And I think you mentioned that earlier about how the media also needs to be careful to not pass the wrong narrative, so to speak. You were going to say something, Jola?
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that even in terms of social advocacy, you know, public announcements and all that, again, the role of the media cannot be emphasized or overemphasized. You know, the media is literally the heartbeat of a nation because people trust them. In fact, the media is such that they're so powerful that if the media says the government is working, do you know that it's just psychological? The people would believe that the government
and begin to see.
Yes, and begin to see that the government is actually working.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, for every kind of information that the media has the opportunity to, you know, whatever space, whether politics, whether social business, economy, in whatever way, what we need is not sensations. No. Let's just leave that for countries that don't even have a name. I mean, we have suffered enough, and we need cold, hard truths to be able to make informed decisions to move forward. I am very hopeful that in the next election cycle, the amount of information that has been put out there, I wish a lot more media houses, media influencers, you know, people within the space would do more to educate, enlighten, and empower young people. Don't castigate somebody who did some 10 years ago. No. Let us understand about, you know, what is expected as a citizen, what is expected as an electorate, what you are supposed to do, how the voting process is supposed to go, what the Constitution says. I mean, I would think that, you know, maybe some media houses will do maybe like every 30 minutes or it can even be a civic responsibility for them. Teach people, educate people about the Constitution. You'll be amazed that a lot. I personally, I think enough is. I don't know.
Enough has helped our life.
Yeah. So when people understand, people even begin to understand their own fundamental human rights
and responsibilities.
So I mean, the media is almost like the alpha and the, you know.
Rightly said, Diola. So I'm sure that from all that we have said, it all boils down to one thing, which is the significant role that the media in general actually has to play in youth engagement, be it in politics, be it in the economy, be it socially, in entertainment, in whatsoever sphere of life it is. And it is also very important for mobilization, I must say, and disseminating information as well. In fact, I'm sure I've said this thing like 10 times now. The media needs to become more